Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock the city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best here around.
Hey, this is Paul Martin.
And Ray the Roadie. We're bringing you episode 4 of the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. Hard to believe we're already at episode 4.
I was going to say, episode 4 came up quick.
Yeah, no kidding. So how's things been with you, Paul?
I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. How about you, Ray?
I'm doing fine. I've been doing a little searching online, checking out some new music, and I found this really, really interesting band on the internet. They're called General Lee. They got a southern rock sound to them, and I was very interested in them. So I was listening to some of their songs. One in general, Little Miss Judy. It's a pretty rockin' southern rock type song. And when I looked into this group a little bit more, turns out they're from Singapore. I mean, I was floored. I could not believe it.
Really?
Yeah, unbelievable. It's their first. They got one album out. It's called General Lee by General Lee. I believe they're actually out on tour right now, somewhere in the in the Singapore area. But I definitely tell people to check them out on Spotify. Take a listen to them, and if they like them, buy their album. Give them a break out there.
Well, that sounds great. We'll be sure to check them out, Ray. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, maybe someday when they're in Chicago, we'll be able to do a podcast with them.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Or we could go to Singapore.
Check the budget, yes.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what we could do. So what's on tap this week?
This week we have M&R Rush.
M&R Rush. You kind of know them guys, don't you?
I do sort of know those guys, and so I was interviewee and interviewer.
You're not getting
both
paid
at the same time. No, I'm not getting paid double. No. Okay.
Well, it's a shame that everybody couldn't have been there.
Yeah, we're missing out with Roger Hertz, bass player extraordinaire with the band, but he got caught up in traffic, and coming from Indianapolis, it's a little ways for him to travel to get up here. Let's get into it right away and see what the band has to say for themselves. They've got some great stories.
Alrighty, let's go.
Hey, this is Paul Martin
and Ray the Roadie
for the Chicago Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Joining us this week is M&R Rush. We've got Marty Martirosian, Carl Mosier, Jeff Loop, John McFarlane, and the one and only Paul Martin. How you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
Missing Roger. We're missing Art.
We're missing Roger. He got tied up in traffic. It looks like he's not going to be able to make it this week. So what's been going on, you guys? I hear you got a new album out, Between the Lines?
Yes, we do. It was released, July of last year.
July of 2018, yes.
Yep. 11-song CD with, we got 10 originals on there, and one cover tune by Head East.
So who did the writing for this album?
We all did. It was a team effort.
Okay, so everybody had a little part of this, huh?
Yeah.
Even Marty the drummer.
Really?
Yes.
Marty had a part in this.
And I also sang on it for the first time in the history of M&R Rush.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
He says that in every interview, by the way.
Yeah, that's probably what made the album.
Just a clarification.
Yes. In my mind it did, right? But I don't know about anybody else's mind.
So tell us about some of the songs on there. Like, John, what did you write? Which songs on there were yours?
Well, let's see here. The opening track, Between the Lines, it's a song I actually wrote for my grandson, talking about living life to the fullest every day and going after your dreams and trying to be the hero, find the hero inside of you. Then there was a tune myself and Paul worked on called Find a Way, a little something that I came up with some music and Paulie put the words together, collaboration. And Jeffrey and I, what was our song? I can't.
I'm glad. I don't know. A Time of Your Life.
Time of Your Life.
Yeah. Okay. I think I was ready for that one. Usually I wouldn't have that answer.
Another one I put together called I Believe. That song about adversity and believing that you're going to come out the other side and positive and things are going to turn out all right if you believe.
You just got full of all kinds of positive messages.
Half full, not half empty. That's ours.
My
So
hero.
Jeff, which ones were yours?
Bring Some Love. That was on this last record, right?
Yes.
Funny how you have to ask a question.
That's kind of got an interesting background. Jeff called me up in the middle of the day and said, "Hey, can you get over here right now?" And so I came, and it was about, 2.5 years ago. And he said, "Hey, I need a real drum track on these ideas." And so we laid it down in probably about 4 minutes. And it ended up being on the album. The demo that I did with Jeff, we worked around all the drum parts from that 4 minute, "Hey, I need you right now," right, Jeff?
Yeah.
Bring your love tonight. Don't throw it away. Don't throw it away. Show some love tonight. Go all the way. Go all the way. Bring your love tonight. Don't throw it away. Don't throw it away. Show some love tonight. Gotta show it. Don't you know it? Just right away.
Good thing you showed up.
Yes, that's right.
I had another drummer ready, but
Where'd the megaphone come from?
I was inspired by like 9 Inch Nails and stuff like that, all the heaviest, I was into the really heavy stuff, I guess you could say. And so, no, it wasn't my idea. I stole it from somebody else, but it works in Bring Some Love. Because actually, I did that because I was actually, Bring Some Love has got two feelings to it. I actually was mad about that song. You wouldn't think I was mad. I was mad because every time we would play live, I would look to the audience and I would get like stink eye from certain people, and I'd be thinking to myself, how am I supposed to bring some love your way when you're looking at me so mad? And so that's actually was the inspiration for Bring Some Love, was that very thing of being live and seeing somebody that looked like they didn't like life. Maybe they didn't like me. But
Wasn't Sky yours too?
oh yeah, Sky was what's the word for it? We were in the off season. We were done. We were not playing, and I went in the studio and I just played some little lick, that beginning one. That Sky was really another song that was actually about women. I don't like to write songs about girls, but another thing, I was just I was dreaming and dreaming and dreaming, and it never really materialized. So it was like sky was the limit at that moment when I was feeling all that, and it turned out to not be that way. So that turns out to be a sad song for me personally, but I'm letting out too much information.
What's interesting about that song, that's one of my favorites, is I see that soundtrack being in a movie and the chorus and seeing someone, this beautiful, like a Colorado scene with someone like flying around, and it's just kind of a neat song. It's one of my favorites, Jeff, just so you know, on the new album.
Thanks, Martin John.
Okay.
It is one of my favorites too, Jeff.
Yes, it is.
So then we go over to Carl, right? Your tune.
And which ones did you write, Marty?
I sang. Did I tell you I sang? That's right.
You sang on one of them.
I sang on.
He
one
mentioned
of these,
that.
yeah.
Which song was that?
It was a song that's I'm looking it up right now. Reckless Love.
I was
Reckless
just
Love.
and I'm wrong. I said we had only one cover tune.
Oh.
Well, we'll circle back.
Oh, that's right. We did have more than that.
But Carl,
we can talk about Reckless Love.
Reckless Love, or should we go to Carl?
Yeah, let's talk about Reckless Love really quick.
Reckless Love was a song given to us by our longtime friend from many years, Mr. Jim Peterick from the Ides of March and the group Survivor. And through a mutual friend, our sound man back a few years ago, and Frank Papalardo. Frank was actually part of the recording session for this demo for this song back in the late 90s, or late 80s, early 90s. And it was a song that Peterick, he never released, and this band from California, I don't remember their name, they actually did the demo. They ended up breaking up before they recorded it. So anyway, long story short, Frank said M&R Rush would do this song great. Jim Peterick said, yep, they can have it. So we recorded that one, and it's on the record.
That's about to explode. Reckless love in a reckless world. Reckless boy in a reckless girl. Crash and burn in this push and shove. Feels like reckless love.
So that's one thing. I mean, we got to say is amazing. Jim Peterick is one of the best songwriters in rock and roll in America, and obviously coming from Chicago, we were honored for him to say, "Hey, you guys can have it. Go take it and do your thing to it." So it's just amazing that a guy that's that talented, written that many hit songs. He's one of the best in America, and to just hand us a song and say, do what you guys will do a good job on that. And then he sent us a little video when he listened to it. Frank played for him, and he was very complimentary on how we arranged that song, which we're really excited about.
Great.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure when I was doing the lead vocal too, knowing that he's going to be listening to it. But here's a little story about Jim Peterick. I don't know if any of you guys in this room know this story. So growing up, there were bands in my neighborhood playing in garages before I got in M&R Rush. And my very first concert that I went to was at my high school, Mendel High School. I was a freshman. And we had won some contest. And there were 3 bands. Tommy James and the Shondells, the Ides of March, Baby Huey and the Babysitters. And it was emceed by Dick Biondi. So my very first real concert was seeing Jim Peterick playing Vehicle. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Now fast forward to the 80s, we're opening up for Survivor at the Point East, and we had just done a sound check. We did our sound check, they did their sound check, and me and Jim were sitting on a couch, and they just released Hold On Loosely, 38 Special. And I go, hey, can you show me that opening riff? Which now, I mean, everybody knows it, but just came out on the radio. So he showed me that. And then, a couple years later, I remember we were playing at Isn't It in Downers Grove.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm playing.
Yeah, that's a blast from the past.
And I remember I kind of looked up and I saw Peterick, and I think it was Frankie Sullivan sitting at the bar. And I think we were doing Dr. Doctor or something. And I've just got my head down and I'm jamming toward the front of the stage. And I open my eyes and Jim's standing right in front of me watching me play. And I look up and I go, Okay. Then fast forward about a couple of years ago, I get the opportunity. I was at an event and Jim Peterick was there. And I got up with him and I did Vehicle and Eye of the Tiger with him.
Well, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
I don't remember a lot of that other stuff, John. Thanks for bringing that back.
So
70s, 80s were pretty rough time.
That's cool.
yeah.
So Carl's giving me the evil eye because we're not letting him talk. So,
Hey, I'm good with just listening to the stories. I like the stories.
so let's hear about your songs.
I've had one on this CD. It's called Someday, and it's I've often heard what people say on how love will find them someday. And that was the line that stuck in my head from 1974 when I actually wrote the song. And so I just figured, you know what? I got this thing sitting around. It's been we never recorded it, and so I brought that one, and I wanted Raj to sing it because Raj on our Blue EP he sang 3 out of the 4 songs, right?
Yep.
Paul sang one. You sang "Reach for the Stars" on that
I
one.
sang Reach for the Stars.
And then Paul and Raj sang number 1, and You're the Only Woman, and
Stay with me.
Stay with me.
Right,
so,
right.
so I wanted Raj it's for his voice to grace us again. So,
Nice. All right, that's a good song.
so it was fun recording, and I got to do these harmony parts on there. It sounds like a keyboard when you listen to the song, but it's actually me doing the 3 harmonies, or is it 4? Might be 4. 3? Just giving me the 3 sign. I don't know if the middle finger's there too.
What's interesting, he said he only got 1 song on this, right? He got 1 song on Between the Lines. But I was just listening to all our tunes that we laid down over the years because we're putting on a song of the day for 76 days before we do our first show this year. Mm-hmm. So I haven't listened to our music that much, so I've been listening to them. And on the Thrill of the Chase album, I was like flabbergasted. I think it was the Carl Mosier solo album, wasn't it? I think you did, right, John?
The purple record.
I think
the red
record. I think Carl. Like almost all of the you were involved, except one. Those were all your tunes that you came up with the ideas. So I just want people to realize. We didn't say, Carl, you can only have 1 song, but it was time to let everybody else.
Well,
And did I tell you, Ray, that I sang on this album?
Did you really?
Well, that shows the diversity of the band. I mean that some other people can write and come up with tunes as well. But
It's about time. God. The weight of the world is lifted off my shoulders. I don't have to come up with all these songs anymore.
So I think that covers everybody that wrote something on the album.
Not Paul.
Oh, Paul!
Yeah.
I forgot you were here.
Yeah, I'm being quiet in this one. I had 2 songs on there. 3 counting the one that I helped John write. Wrote the lyrics for. But I had The Darkness of Night, which kind of just came to me in a moment's notice. The song just kind of, I was sitting at my dining room table playing my guitar, and before I knew it, I had a page full of lyrics that I'd written down, and I came out of this fog, and I had a song written. So, which is kind of cool when that happens, but it doesn't happen too often. And I've also got Melvin Drives a Bus, which is kind of my just my story about touring, and when we were all young bucks and out there touring and playing in the college towns and going from town to town and playing, and it actually refers to my days when I was mixing, and I still do that occasionally, but running sound for bands, and you could always tell a good drummer when you saw one, because he was in control, and he was driving the whole bus. He was driving the whole band, and I always felt Marty's that way. And
thank you. Is it all right if I give him a hug right now?
Oh, sure. Go right ahead. Feel the love. Feel the love.
And Marty's definitely been a driving force behind this band for since day one, since I can remember.
What's interesting, before you go into your other tune, is Ray, we did it differently on how we picked the songs. We actually voted on all the demos. I don't know, we had about 20 tunes or so.
That was a good idea.
And then we went and voted, and the ones that got the most votes ended up on the album. And I'll be honest with you, Melvin Drives the Bus. I wasn't really impressed at the beginning, and I was telling Paul, no, it's cool. I like it, but. And he goes, well, for God's sake, Marty, Melvin, it's about you. And then I said, this definitely has to be.
He loves it. Right, Paul?
That's right.
I love this song.
And what else do you have on there?
That's it, right? Just two songs. Two songs, and
Oh, that's
East.
right. And then you guys remake of Head East.
Right.
So I hear you've had pretty good sales of that album too, internationally.
Yeah, the internet's amazing, isn't it? Again, we kid about this, but it is awesome that with the internet and selling things and how the industry's changed, we have people in about 16 countries that have bought our music. Now, it's not millions of copies, but if one person buys the album in China, that counts as a country that we're in, right? But it's amazing how people get turned on to music that is thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away from them. So
It's amazing.
it's kind of neat.
So let's turn back the hands of time just a little bit, and let's talk a little bit about how M&R Rush got together.
So usually we throw this to Roger, since he's still on the road from Indianapolis. But yeah, it was myself, Roger, and I. We've known each other a few years, since we were 5 years old. And we played baseball together. I started a band with him when I was in about 7th grade. He didn't even play bass. All he was a lead singer. Our song that we played all the time was "I'm a Believer" by the Monkees. And the reason why we did that is the guitar player's mother would give us brownies every time we would play that. But anyway, so we turned into I met Carl in freshman
class.
As a freshman year.
Senorita Smith.
Yep, as our teacher, and so he became our keyboard player. He turned us on to Paul. We knew John was in a band at this time playing Mendel with his playing purple in his purple shirt. Calling what was the song name?
Purple Haze.
Purple Haze.
Purple Haze in my purple shirt.
Crystal
Blue
Persuasion.
And so we asked John to come in, and then John came in, and then before you know it, we asked Jeff to come in to M&R Rush, and here we are. That's how it came. We've been around a few years. We took a vacation for many years when our children were growing up and to be Little League coaches and all that. And we started playing again 2003. So this is our 16th year, which...
so that's a second go-round.
Second go-around, right.
Yeah.
And John's always, just...
Which actually lasted longer than the first go-round. Right?
John came up with that and said, hey, do you realize this M&R Rush is... the second time around is longer than the first time, right?
Yep.
So, and having fun.
Well, and one of the things I want to point out that I think makes this band very unique, especially when you think about the bands that are out there today playing like 100% cover stuff, and M&R Rush goes back, and we were part of something that we just unfortunately we didn't catch the wave, but we were there. We were there when Styx wasn't even called Styx. They were playing half covers, half originals. Then they changed their name to Styx. They went to all originals. We were opening up shows for them. We were playing covers, and we started writing originals because we didn't want to be a cover band. We wanted to, make the big time. And there was another band in town called MS Funk that had a guitar player in there. His name was Tom. Later called himself Tommy, and he ended up getting in Styx. We were playing clubs on a Friday. Saturday, Cheap Trick would be there. Go down the road a little farther, Survivor playing the clubs. We're writing originals. We're getting record companies to come out to see us. We weren't just a jukebox band, and we came real close. We had a record company come, almost signed us. There was a little problem with the record company. We had our song, Carl wrote, Rock and Roll Chicago, played on the loop. On the loop. The third largest radio market, Chicago. The Loop, the largest classic rock station. We were played in the summer of 1980, so much that our song ended up being number 45 for the year. We're not just a cover band. When you come see us, we're going to hear originals. You're going to hear our covers. We know people want to hear them. We like playing them. They were our influences: Queen, Journey, Uriah Heep. They were all our influences. So I just had to throw that in.
Yeah. Well, I personally want to thank you guys for letting us use Rock and Roll Chicago as our theme song for the podcast.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about that, Ray. I've been checking the P.O. box for our royalties and haven't seen a check yet. But
yeah, my people will get a hold of your people.
All right, there you go.
So what do you got planned for this summer season? What's going on? You got some shows coming up?
Yes, we do. In fact, we're going to do about 10 shows this year. Our first show is on Bourbon Street in about 24 days. And it's on Saturday,
May 18th.
May 18th.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, so please come on out. And it is a free show, so it's kind of neat. You get there before 8 o'clock. It costs you $0 to come and listen to M&R Rush. We're doing a couple...
Did you say it was a free show or a freak show?
A free show.
Free. Okay,
free. We have a couple theaters we're doing, which is really cool. One in Michigan, Acorn.
June 15th.
June 15th.
What's the second one?
The second one, John doesn't know this, but the second one is a brand new theater in Crown Point, Indiana.
November 5th.
Thanks, Carl.
That's the
November
Crown
5th.
Theater. Is that a reopening?
Reopening that. We played that a long time ago, and they've renovated. I've been there. It's really going to be a beautiful place. We have we have numerous shows, but I'm not going to bore everybody. But another one that's kind of special is Pierogi Fest in Whiting, Indiana. I guess, Carl, do you know that date?
Yeah, that is July 29th.
Oh, so 27th to 29th.
It's last Saturday in July.
All right, there you go.
Saturday in July.
And it's their 30th anniversary, so it's a big special thing. And Channel 9's supposed to be out there and all that.
All my Polish cousins are coming. So
there
if you
go.
want to meet all my Polish cousins, be there.
And then another thing that we do is we're having our 5th annual golf outing, where anybody can sign up at M&RRush.com, and we're doing a show there. Also in Crete, Illinois, at the golf club.
And that'll be August 9th.
Carl, I'm impressed. And Carl's not reading this off.
The golf outing itself is
the 23rd.
It's the 23rd of August. Yeah. So anybody wants to golf, go to our website and
sign up before.
That's right. You find out all the information there.
All right, guys. Well, it's been great having you. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Where else can we find? Where else can they find us and find out our dates besides?
We have the website.
M&RRush.com.
M&RRush.com.
You can sign up for the newsletter, so you'll get a newsletter of all our dates coming up, and then of course Facebook. We have a Facebook page. So
Twitter at M&R Rush Band. So.
And then you come out to our shows. We'll have cards to give you for all our shows coming up.
It's my birthday Saturday.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
I figured if you want to send me money. P.O. Box what?
All right, then. Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Time after time, day after day, you're standing on the edge of your life, reaching for the sky, reaching every day. You know you've got to read between the lines. All day, all night long. Don't stop looking for the answers. Don't stop living for the day. Don't stop looking for the hero in you.
Those are some great stories the band had, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sure was. It's 40 years is a long time to be together. There's a lot of stories there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a marriage, I guess, and you have to you come up with a lot of stories after 40 years.
Yeah, you do. It's it's amazing that you guys have actually been together longer the second go round.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive. Our next episode 5, we've got somebody very special coming up. So all you guys out there definitely got to check it out.
Yes, be sure to check this out check it out next week. We'll be posting some stuff on Facebook, so be sure and check it out, and stick around. It's going to be a very interesting show.
As always, like our page, subscribe to the podcast, and please share and tell your friends. Have a great week, everybody.
Take care. Thank you.
Rock and roll, Chicago.